hear me talk? Testing, testing the sound. Yeah, it's at maximum right now, so I'll have to speak louder, I guess. Now can you hear the game as well? Hey Kazmax, nice to see you. No, I'm not a machine. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not a true ascendant. And there's a face. It's my face. Thank you. Alright, well I guess I'll get started with the game. I assume everybody here right now kinda knows at least a little bit about it. Who should I play? Merle or Silent? What's the challenge, Glory? Well, Mystical Blast is amazing. That's an easy challenge. So I have one vote for Merle and one vote for Mystical Blast, which would be on Silent, I guess. Just close a few distracting things. Okay, I can try to do Silent with Mystical Blast and Doom, I guess. Is the sound balance okay between the game sound and my voice? I'll play Merle next, Kazmax. That's fine. I have plenty of time to play every character in a lot of possible decks, I think. Me neither, it's my first time streaming, so I guess we'll learn together how streaming works exactly. So I'm looking for a little bit of AoE damage right now, because if I'm making a build around Arcane, it's usually single target, so I'll need at least a little bit of AoE stuff. I might try going with Fragmented Blast and Scrying Blast, and then one last mana card so that I don't run out of mana too easily. Now for the pool, I'll just grab a little bit of the good stuff. One Doom for Seyned. So right now I'm building the pool of cards for the run. So basically, for those who haven't played it yet, the pool are the cards that you'll find during a run. So I don't start the game with them, but over time every card in my pool has a chance to come up in a run. So I'm kind of deciding what I want to see during this run. So I've decided to do an Arcane based deck. Arcane is like a status effect that you apply on enemies. It eventually explodes into a big chunk of damage. So I'm trying to choose cards that work well with it. There's a lot going on, so I can run through every card if you guys want. Well, this is just a very solid card overall from Silence Pool. It gives mana, gives you solid buffs that are just helpful in every scenario. This card is it's pretty simple and straightforward, but it gives you a lot of mana, so it's really worth picking up. Same with this, it's a card you can only play once per fight, but it gives you a ton of cards and selection. This one I just like. I haven't had the chance to play with it so much yet since I've reworked it, so I'll be trying it this run. Just a fun card that transforms in and out of its shape as you have to cool down your cannon every time you fire it. And finally, Doom here is just a crowd favorite from one of the artists in the game and a few other people, so I'm putting it in the deck and we'll try to make it work. So as you can see, I can only have 5 of these gold epic cards, so then I'll move on to the rare cards next and see which ones I want to play with. Shield Potion is just a solid card. It gives you mana, it gives you shield. It's removed so you can only use it once, but it's a pretty good card overall. So I'll be playing with a lot of arcane stuff. So Arcane Bolt is good because it deals just a little bit of arcane, and sometimes that's all you need to trigger the big explosion, so I'll be taking that as well. With Silent, it's good to have cheap cards because they let you lower the cost of your cannon. You'll see the cannon, how it works when I start the game, but so just small cheap cards like this are always good just to get your turn going. With this one, this card doesn't do all that much, but evasion, while it's sometimes pretty bad against some enemies, some other enemies only have like one big attack every once in a while, so I'll pick it up just in case I run into these guys. Here I'll pick up, I think, Mind Shield. It's nothing flashy, but it gives you shield, which helps you live, and gives you wit, so it kind of recycles itself, but it's on the next turn, so you don't see that card right away, but it's still a pretty solid pick overall. Void Shield is similar. You gain some shield and you gain some more when you discard it. I like picking it up in a deck with a few discards outlets, just because sometimes there's just some free shield and it's nice to have. I think I'll go with X as well. It gives the enemy curse, so they'll deal less damage and apply less status, so it's kind of a defensive thing, and then they apply arcane, so it ends up dealing damage as well, so it's a good, well-rounded card. Fireball is nothing fancy. It does exactly what you would expect from it, it deals damage to all enemies and burns them, so it's like an extra 5 damage, so it's pretty good, and you do need some AoE damage, otherwise sometimes you'll get a bit trapped trying to kill all enemies one after the other. So then we need some mana cards, so Target Focus is Silence mana card, it's very solid all around, especially if you start duplicating Cannon Blasts, you'll have several in your hand, so if you can, like, it can be the equivalent of giving you 2 or even 3 mana if you have a lot of Cannon Blasts in your hand. And then just whichever I like, Mana Shield, Siphon card, and then I'll just go, because those are the common cards, so I can put as many as I want, but ideally you don't want that many because they're obviously less powerful. Okay, is this better for the microphone? It's a bit further, so I'll try to speak maybe a bit louder, but hopefully you'll hear the breathing a little less. Okay, thank you. And then let's just go for Meditate. Oh, that's what I thought. Let's try something like this, maybe. Can you still hear me? Hopefully it's a bit on the side so you won't hear the breathing. Just let me know. So I'll use Meditate here. Adept increases all the status I apply, and since we're going for a run where I'll be applying a lot of arcane status specifically, I think it should be a pretty good card. And then we're 1 card off, so let's just go with another. Actually, I'd like to have a card that heals me a little bit. So Regeneration is pretty good. It increases your recovery. Oh, I won't even try to pronounce that. Recoverable health by 10, and then restores you 5 health. Actually, this one is better if you have other healing cards as well. So I think maybe something a little bit more like this one. So it gives you shield, gives you a bit of health, so over time you can regen a little bit. So that'll be it for the deck building. I think the deck overall might be a bit slow, but we'll try to make it work. So start run. So I like to start a run by looking a little bit at what the map has to offer, what paths I can take, and who the final boss is. So the final boss is actually very similar to my own deck. It will be applying a lot of arcane damage to me, and it also starts the combat with Doom, but I'll go more in detail about that later. So it's interesting to look at these enemies are bigger, they're the elite enemies. They're more dangerous, but they also give a lot more reward. So usually I try to make my run so that I run into as many of them as possible. So here, this run I might try to go like from here, then try a little event for fun and to show it off, and then try to hit all these fancy elite enemies before the boss. So we can start with this little fight here. So yeah, this might be a lot of information at first. Silent is a guy with this big cannon. That's his signature card. You get 1 copy every turn. So the cannon does 6 damage and 6 arcane, and every time you play a card that's not a mana card, you reduce its cost by 1. So ideally you want to be playing a lot of cards and then playing your cannon for almost free. What's cool about the cannon for Silent is that Silent has mud cards that allow you to modify your cannon. So for example, this mystical mud card turns my cannon blast into a mystical blast. So this one, it applies arcane, so it doesn't deal damage, but it draws 2 cards. So it's pretty good to cycle through your deck and see hopefully more mana cards, more card draw, more damage spells, and just you can kind of do just more stuff per turn. So I'll go with this one first. So it'll just transform my cannon, and then This one just gives me some mana, and it further reduces the cost of the cannon. So this one, since I do have 10 or more shield, it's active, so the blue outline shows that, and it'll give me 3 mana instead of only 2. So I'm up to my maximum mana. Treasure Hunt shuffles a treasure into my deck, so it's not useful right now, but it'll be useful later because treasures are pretty strong, and it also reduces the cost of Mystical Blast. And this one I need to discard a card to play it, so I'll play my blast first, see what I get. Reload creates a Cannon Blast, but it'll be too expensive to use this turn, and it's temporary, meaning that as you can see, a temporary card gets removed even if at the end of my turn, so I won't bother casting this right now. But I can draw some cards and see what we get. And I think for this turn I'll just grab some mana and end the turn. So I'll try to explain a little bit what we have going on here for the enemies. So there's always going to be symbols that indicate what the enemy will be doing next turn. You can tap on the enemy to see what they're going to do. So right now they're doing 2 things. So there's 2 symbols. So the first one represents status and the second one support. So on the next turn it'll either gain a buff or maybe heal itself, and it'll give me some status, in this case arcane status. So, oh no, the arcane shows because the arcane bar is here. Let me explain arcane now. We have several statuses in the game. For now I'll be playing with arcane, so I'll just explain that one. If I deal damage, like physical damage goes to the shield and then the health bar of the enemies. If I apply status instead, it fills this bar here, and then every status type has an effect when the bar is fully filled. In the case of arcane, it's pretty simple. It just explodes and deals damage to the target. So here this one should apply a pretty good amount of status to this target, so we'll see right away what it does. It also applied vulnerable, as you can see here, which increases all the damage and status it takes by 30%. So hopefully it'll allow us to take that enemy down relatively quickly. So I'll gain some more mana, and I think I'll use Fragmented Blast, which is a pretty fun card that deals just a bunch of damage basically. And then I'll finish my turn with a Cannon Blast on this guy. And end turn. Yep, Posh, all the enemies I find are pretty well drawn. We've been real lucky with our artist. He's incredibly talented, and it's been a treat working with him on this game. I'll hunt for treasure, gain some more mana, and finish this guy off with the Cannon Blast. Then it's my turn. So these guys are interesting because they use the Death Spore ability, which doesn't do anything on its own, but when they die, they'll give Powerful, which is a very powerful buff, well, obviously, which increases all the damage and status applied by 1 per rank. So you don't want them to accumulate too much Death Spore, because otherwise when they die they'll buff their friends so much that you can't kill them anymore. So here I'll use Reload because I have a lot of mana, and I think I'll be able to do a lot of things this turn. So by using Reload, I'm getting a second Cannon Blast, and then I'll use my treasure to draw a few cards. I'll do this and create an... wait, so I'm at 6 mana. Yeah, so that's the downside with Reload. Sometimes you need a lot of mana to make it work. So I'll just use 1 Cannon Blast this turn, I think. Although if I use this Mystical Mud, I can turn my first Cannon Blast into a Mystical Blast, and we'll get to draw 2 cards, one of which is mana. So we'll use it, discard this, and at this point, next card I cast will make this one free. So let's just go with another Mystical Mud and use the cannon on this one, trigger an explosion. And I think I'll stop my turn here, because since mana is going to be conserved between turn, I want to make sure that I'll have enough mana to do something next turn. Alright, so nothing too special here. We'll gain some mana, give him some vulnerable first so that our next Arcana Blast will be stronger, and then this will actually finish him off. And we did it! We won our first fight. Explains why you need to cut down trees. Yeah. So after each fight you get some rewards here. Right now in the demo they're just to showcase a little bit what the rewards will look like in the final game. You can't use them, but they stack up and they accumulate between runs, so we'll try to get as many of them as possible. So we have an energy system for the item gain, so every fight and after some events you gain an amount of energy depending on the difficulty of the fight. So for this one it was only a normal fight that gave us 33 energy, and when you reach 100 you gain an item. Item in this game, it's not only like trinkets like in most of the other ones. You do have trinkets, but you also have items that are tied to an item slot. So armor, weapon, and then 2 accessories. So these are usually more powerful, but you can only have one of each at any one point, so you have to do a little bit of decision making. And then you choose a card after each fight. So here you can see that 2 of these cards are from the pool that I created before I started playing, and then the third one depends on the enemy you just defeated. So this is just a card that comes when you defeat the book plants. I don't really want to curse myself even for shield. I think I'll try to go with meditate because it increases all the status I apply, and since I'm going for a bit of an arcane build, I think it could be pretty good. And yeah, Bush, that's one of the big thing we're going for, is all the RPG features. We really want to go a little bit deeper than the other games in this category usually go, including like in between runs we do want to give like character levels to the characters, and then they'll have even like talent trees and little skills that you can unlock and all that to make the progression maybe a bit more fun, but also to allow players to customize the characters, like so that they can play them in a way that they like the most. I've tried some of the other games and usually the characters are fun, but you have to play them exactly like the designers intended to, and there's not that much room for expressing yourself, I guess, gameplay wise, so we're trying to do a little bit of that here. So here I intend to go there next, so I can choose any of these nodes, but let's go for this one. Alright, so I have a ton of mana here, so I think reload is a good choice to use that mana with these cannons. Charging focus will be amazing here because I'll reduce both of these by 1 the cost, so boom. And then mana shield as well, and then let's do a treasure hunt, and then we can blast this guy pretty hard. We haven't killed him yet, but almost. Although they do attack for a lot, and I only have 10 shields, so I'll be taking some permanent damage here, which isn't the best, but what can you do? I did notice that we kind of completely forgot to add shield to our deck, so that's a mistake on my part. We'll try to see if we can improve that as we progress through the run. We'll probably have to prioritize shield based cards. So I'm just gonna use this one because it deals damage to both, so we'll finish this one off and then we can focus on the other one. It also draws us a spell, which in this case is Fragmented Blast, which isn't the best against this particular enemy, but we'll see what we can do. So I'm at 5 mana, I can use Mystical Blast, and maybe we'll draw some interesting cards. By that I mean more mana cards, perfect. So at 5 mana, I'll just blast this guy some more. Well, let's reload first. And same thing again. Hi. So once again, can't quite cast all of them, but it's fine. We'll kill this guy next turn. And well, he's dead, so let's not do a fancy turn and just kill him right now. Alright. Let's just check Discord real quick. Alright. Choose a card, maybe something with some shield. So no shield, but this one does give tough, which reduces damage taken, so we'll go with that, and hopefully it'll make the little shield we have last a bit longer. So now we'll try a non-combat event, which are these nodes on the map. I think they're really fun. We went a bit deeper than some other games went. It's almost like a very small I'll drink a bit of water, sorry about that, guys. I don't talk all that much, usually, since I work from home, you know, gotta get used to it. So non-combat events are pretty fun because they're a bit of a very tiny choose your own adventure. So you make choices that affects what happens, and we also want to explore like all the story in the game. Since it's a roguelike, I mean, some games like 80s manage to make a kind of overarching story work, but we wanted to focus more on small storylines. So we don't have it right now, but eventually we want to have small, like, random events like this, but that progress over time. So maybe you'll meet a new character through these events, but you have to meet them in a few different places and do a few different things. So it won't be about like one big storyline, but a bunch of little stories that you can explore as you play the game. And we feel like it also fits well in roguelike, so since you have to do these stories over a bit of a longer stretch of time, it'll keep you playing for a bit longer and hopefully delve into the lore that way. So we are faced, well, I'll just read it. There is a big open field in your path. There are magic books almost everywhere on the ground. It looks bad, but you remember an entry about this in the standard issue of Into the Breach Aether Survival Guide. What did it say again? When encountering a field of sleeping yellow book plants, you should follow... Would you say you play the role of a breach runner? Yes, I do. I would say that. You should follow the safe path indicated with flags. Do not stray, do not touch the plants. So this particular event is a bit of a kind of toying with the players. We tell them exactly what to do, and then we expect them to not do that and fail, but you just have to do what you're told once in a while. So let's follow a path of small planted flags. It's working. They're not attacking. Amazing. So we notice, you can't help but notice a broken caravan. It's only a short distance from you, but it's not in your path forward. There's sure to be loot. You can see chests and lingering Aether energy. Take a quick decision. If any English speaking person could tell me how to pronounce Aether, I would appreciate that. Since, yeah, I've never heard that word out loud. Take a quick decision. Let's detour to the caravan because we want to fight things. So, yeah, they're waking up and they're attacking us, but hopefully what we find in the caravan will make this fight worth it. So there are a ton of enemies here. Let's start with meditate so that everything we do is better than this. I think we can blast this one, and you won't have enough mana to use the mystical mud, so let's just use a blast. So as you can see, not only are there 4 of them, but I was ambushed by them, so it gives me a Aether. What does that mean? Oh, 2 syllables. Aether. Okay. Is that right? Bookworm nature. So yeah, some events can have you start the fight, or sometimes it'll affect the enemies with a status effect like this. So in this case it's ambush, but maybe if you enter a burning building you can start the fight burning, stuff like that. There's a lot of to explore with this. I think it will be pretty fun. So endure here is going to be really fun because it reduces damage taken by 30%, and there's a bunch of enemies attacking, so it should make a pretty big difference. Then let's do another mystical blast so we can draw some cards, reduce the cost some more, and maybe we'll even draw our treasure. So this should kill the first enemy, and we're on but that's fine. Take some more damage. So when it's yellow with an exclamation point, it's a crit, so they both crit us, so we got a bit unlucky, but we should be fine. Although, yeah, we'll see. What can I do here? I'll cast my treasure first to see what I draw, and I don't think we'll have enough to reload, so let's do this, let's do this. I think Fragmented Blast would be fun with 3 enemies, so it does quite a bit of damage. And we have enough for a treasure and a cannon blast. So this isn't great, but we'll do our best. And now they all have these death spores, so as soon as we kill one, it'll make all the others stronger, which is not the best place to be. Let's see what we draw. Certainly don't need 2 of those. And let's draw some more cards. Alright, so it's starting to be a bit bad, and these are starting to stack up their stuff, so ideally I think I'll want to kill them all at once. We'll see how realistic that is. So if I won't have mana to play this, but I can play both of these. I kind of don't want to kill this one because it'll make all the others so much stronger. I think I don't have a choice. And then so the thing about Arcane is, this might end our run here. The thing about Arcane is that every explosion is a lot stronger than the last one, so if you're facing enemies that give you Arcane, you want to end fights as soon as possible, which we aren't really doing right now. Or at least if we've had more shield cards, it would have been better, I think. Let's draw some more cards, but actually I think we can kill this one this turn. But it'll make this one so much stronger. Alright, so next turn they're applying some Arcane, but with this much power I think they'll be triggering it, so if we don't kill it this turn, I think this will be the end of this run. And it doesn't look like we can kill it this turn, so So it's not always easy. I got defeated by a book plant, which I'm a bit ashamed, but you know, we'll try to do better. Should I try the same idea again, but tune my starting deck maybe a bit more, or do you guys want to see some Merle gameplay? Alright, so Merle is very different from Silent. She doesn't get free cards, but she gets access to the hidden status. Since she's a sneaky rogue and all that. Oh yeah, one thing at a time. Okay, so hidden gives you 50% evade chance and 50% crit chance, but it's lost as soon as you make an attack, so it kind of simulates being sneaky in the shadows and harder to see. So a lot of her cards revolve around that, and you want to use cards that take advantage of these things. One little thing that we made for this game is I felt like the simple art style of the characters was fun, and also it made it easier to, since the color palette is limited, it made it possible for us to layer all the colors, and then we can choose the colors for the character. So it's a small detail, but I think it makes the experience just a bit more fun, so you can really customize like their appearance and do something that you enjoy personally. So I'm not the best artist, but I think this looks semi-decent. Let's go with this. I think something like that. It's not too bad for now. So let's see. I like to clear everything when I start, just to start fresh. And so this is kind of a signature mana card. I think it's always good because you end up being stealth a lot of, well, you end up being hidden a lot of the time. I think I'll just go for a very straightforward deck, so shadow focus and just regular focus, because this one is good if you don't have that many mana cards, because you're often out of mana. So we'll do this, and Backstab is just one of our best cards. Are there plans for an Android? Actually, there is already an Android version. It's just that the Play Store doesn't... Well, we're focusing on the Steam because of this festival, but actually the first few builds of the game were on Android. So it's already playable on Android and all that. We're just not sure if we want to do an early access or any of this for Android. So, but the plan is to release the game on Steam, iOS and Android at the same time when we do release it sometime next year. I kind of like this one. It's a very risky because it increases all of the damage you take, but it does make you deal quite a bit more damage. So I'll just put one copy, so every once in a while we'll get it. Critical is actually really good with Merely, because if you have critical active, your crit chance goes up to 100% while you're in stealth, because critical gives you 50 and then stealth gives you another 50. So I'll put one copy of that as well. Then I kind of like this one. It's not that great for long fights because it's a very tiring strike to use, so it puts an exhaustion in your deck. So you can just remove exhaustion by paying 3 mana and casting the card, but if you don't do it because you don't have the mana, then your whole deck becomes exhaustion, so it's kind of a risky thing to do for long fights. But I do like the card, so let's put this one in. I don't know if you can hear it, but my cat is probably asking for food. I'll get to that a bit later. Covered strike is nice because it deals some damage and then you get hidden right away. This time let's not forget to add some shield. I like having one block and then one, well, it's just, block is just a regular, gives you some shield for mana. And then this one, you don't want too many, but if you can make it so that it's the last card of your turn, you don't really care about the discard part, so it can be a 10 shield for 2 mana, which is pretty good. And I guess that makes it for the deck. Nothing fancy for now, let's just try something straightforward and see if we can... No. No, saying that there's not gonna be Doom this time. We're trying to win. Well, actually, let's do Doom, but on ourselves. So Doom is a status that deals 50 damage when it expires, so it's very risky, but when you use it on an enemy, obviously it's very strong. Usually there's a longer duration, but when you have it on yourself, it's super risky, but let's do it. This still deals like 15 damage, and it scales very well with power, which would, like, every power would increase the damage by quite a bit. Then one with shadows is good because you stay hidden the whole turn, but it's a bit better when you have a ton of things to do, but we'll still use it. Final Strike is just like helping you finish the fight as quickly as possible, which is exactly what you want. Same with Magic Cannon. And finally, actually, let's remove this. This one is just like the word is, the name is very apt. It's incredibly strong. You gain hidden right away, so and then critical. So you just using this card, your crit goes up to 100%, and then lethal increases the damage of your critical hits. So it's incredibly strong, although it does cost a bit of mana. And then Vampiric Strike just to try to maybe not die as horribly as last time. Is that? Yes, it is. I had it made just for the game. Actually, I had it made for this stream. I wanted to have a little bit. You can't buy it yet. Well, I don't think if you ever can buy it. I don't know how to set up merch and all that. Maybe one day, but I had it custom made with the art basically on one of those websites. So I do like Burst of Strength since it's free and it gives you. Yeah, we do need merch eventually. So yeah, free cards are good because Merle has a bit less mana, at least in the deck we're building right now. So and this one increases your damage, so that's good. Hunt is similar. It's a bit harder to use, but I'm sure we can make it work. Blade Dance is just always good. Power Surge as well. Like, they're pretty straightforward cards, but they do what they need to. I do like Vanish. It gives you quite a bit of shield. It hides you, so if you use it at the end of the combat, it also gives you 50% evasion in the next turn. So it's very good to stay alive. Hidden Storm and Tempest Strike are nothing fancy, but sometimes you just need to kill, well, to deal some area damage. Actually, speaking of which, let's try to get maybe a few cards that deal targeted damage, otherwise we might get overwhelmed. So Increasing Assault, it's not that great the first time you use it, but already the second time it deals 9 damage, so... Well, actually it goes against what we're trying to do with this deck, so let's forget that and focus on some targeted damage. So this one is expensive, but if we can crit it, I think it can be pretty good. So let's just have one copy, and then we need some mana cards. Why not? And then I think Backstab is good even if it's a common. And then maybe the... Wait, I had a card in mind. This one. So it's similar to that one, but this one you can target anything. So let's add it to our pool, and we still have 2 cards left. So Draining Strike, it's nothing fancy, but it gives you some heal, and let's get a shield giving card somewhere in there. So my go-to is this one. It's just very generic, but it gives shield. That's good. And let's go for that. Start run. Alright, who do we have here? So, okay, I don't think this guy requires any special preparation other than trying to kill him very fast. as you can see here, since we like to live dangerously, we have a string of 1, 2, 3, and 4 elite enemies in a single path, so there won't be events in that run. Oh, actually we can go like this and get this event. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty fun if we can survive it. These guys, yeah, let's get the books. Well, actually we get one of each, but should be good enough. So Merle's passive ability is as you start the combat hidden, so it's pretty good in this scenario. Let's gain some criticals, so it'll give us 100% chance to crit, as you can see here. And let's gain some mana. So this should deal 15 damage, because crits are a 50% increase. And then they're gonna hit it for last, so it's worth it to block and deal some more damage to this guy. So already our shield is getting low, but at least we're not quite dead yet, so covered strike will kill this guy and also hide us, so that's perfect. Then we have no mana, so let's use this, then let's use that to get some more. This is a 100% crit chance, so that'll be pretty good. And sometimes you want to end your turn in stealth, but since next turn they're not attacking, it doesn't matter. So we'll just use it, deal a lot of damage, gain some mana, gain some shield, and the turn. So far I think it's going pretty well. So see, it's already starting with the exhaustion. I don't think I can kill them this turn. Let's see, if I do enrage, I'll deal like 6 or 7 damage with that. And they're at 15 health, so I don't think I can kill them. So let's we'll probably kill them next turn, so let's just deal some damage. I won't attack anymore because they have Reflect, which deals 2 damage when I'm attacked. So with this I'll take 0 damage this turn and it'll be perfect. And then hopefully I can kill them this turn, just have to deal 10 damage. Well, maybe I won't be able to, but should be fine overall. Let's gain some more shields, some more mana. And then we have some shields, so even if we have to attack 3 times, we should be fine. There we go. Easy. So that went well. I think it's a better start than we had last turn. So let's go for this one because it's a pretty unique effect and we don't see it as much in a run. So reduces the buff duration of the first 2 enemies by 1 and then deals them damage. So sometimes just enemies have very annoying buffs, so being able to have at least a little bit of say in if they can use them or not is pretty good. So let's go for this fight now. I'll start with Enrage. They're not attacking that much and I also have a block, so I think it'll be fine. Block, use Backstab for 17 damage, gain some mana. Alright, so see here already, it removes this, well, reduces it, so it will only give 1 powerful to the other enemy when I kill it, so that's pretty good already. Let's use covered strike so that we're stealth. Then with this we get 100% crit and this should finish it. Right, merely doing some work. Let's choose a card. I really like Backstab, it's basically 10 damage for 2 mana, so I'll just go with that. Then we're facing some mushrooms. If any of you have played Guildmasters, you'll see that these are enemies from Guildmasters. We tried not to reuse everything, but it's in the same universe, so we wanted to have at least a little bit of stuff that people could recognize from the previous game. So they're not doing anything too threatening this turn, so I think it's fine to enrage. and then I think I'll block once and then use backstab. So yeah, I'm trying this run to be a bit more careful with my health than last run, so hopefully we can try to keep our health intact for as long as possible. So let's go for this, then allows us to use focus for its full value. Then I think we'll be able to keep that for the end and basically not discard a card, so even if they attack for a lot, it should be fine. Oh, I haven't talked about leech yet, so these guys, they can give us leech. We take damage and it'll heal them every turn. So if the fight is short, it's not that big of a deal, but sometimes if they make the fight last longer, it can become quite problematic. But with this, we'll kill this one, become hidden. We have 0 mana, so we can use this for full. We're hidden, so we can use this. Then let's get to 100% crit and deal 17 damage. So we have no way to get hidden here, so we can just use this. Alright, that's pretty good. And I'll block and I'll just discard the exhaustion. Push it till later. So now we still have the bonus from this, so I think let's just stab him and try to kill him next turn. So this, then we get 4 mana for this, and we can kill him. So we finally get an item. Let's see if we get anything good. Arcane Wand. Arcane burst damage +2, so every time I do an arcane explosion it will do 2 more damage, and every strike will apply 2 arcane every time they deal damage, so that's good. It's not what we were going for, but maybe we can make it work for fights that are a bit longer. So far I think we had no, I didn't put Stinging Strike for now. I think I didn't have that many power cards, but yeah, it would have been good with with that particular item. I feel like we had enough mana when we played, so I'll just go with Mind Shield, I think, since I'm trying to preserve my life total. And maybe we can take a 1-minute break to show off my little kitty. Look at her, she's so cute. You know. Say hi to the stream. She hates being manipulated physically, so I think we'll leave her alone for now. Alright, so let's get started with all the elite fights. So this guy, it's a shock elemental. It'll shock us. We'll get to see the shock status for the first time, so let's start with some crit. I think this one you really want to kill like as fast as possible, so I'll just YOLO it and go with the vulnerable stuff. So we can backstab him for a ton of damage. Then that was a pretty good turn. So what does shock do? Yeah, we're starting to have a lot of things here, but shock here at the bottom. So applying shock, it fills the bar, and when the bar is filled, it'll give you the shocked status. So the shock status means that the next attack to target you will deal double damage. So it's pretty bad to have on you, especially since most enemies that use shock also have abilities that combo well with it. So we'll just try to kill him before he can do anything too bad to us, which I think we can, like maybe even this turn. So yeah, for sure. So let's get some mana and then we can just finish him off with this. So that was incredibly easy. So yeah, we get the choice between Magic Cannon and Death or Glory. So this one gets better the more you use it, because Doom, like, if you use it often enough, Doom will never trigger because you keep stacking it up. But I think this one is safer, and getting Mighty might make us less dependent on Enrage, which also comes at a debuff, and I think if we even never cast Vent Off, it'll be fine. The card will be good enough. Oh yeah, that's true, I do have the item that gives Arcane, so Death or Glory would have been pretty good. Ah, it's fine. So this is another elite fight. I have a ton of backstabs, so that's good. So this time, though, there's a little critter in the way, so I can't kill the elite guy right away. So we'll just try to do our best. I only have 6 mana, so I think I'll just cast a Mind Shield and a Backstab. Although I would like to hone, but I think we'll just try to finish the fight as fast as possible. As you can see, this guy, he attacks quite a bit and he gains powerful a bunch, so his attacks become a lot stronger pretty fast. So let's... We do have a lot of things going on, so let's Cover Strike, then Focus and Shadow Focus, and then we can cast everything. But do we want to cast Enrage? And do we want to lose Stealth? I think we do, because we'll have a bunch of shield and this guarantees that we kill this one, and then we have enough shield to absorb his attack. Yeah, Bleed is it's not the nicest status, but if you gain a bit of shield beforehand, the Bleed goes into the shield, so that's not too bad. Then we can focus. And yeah, next turn will take quite a bit of damage, but it's an elite fight, so I think it's to be expected. I think I'll just cast all my cards. This reduces their might, well, their buff, so I think it's worth the sacrifice of health. Ow. So they gain critical here, and then they managed to crit us twice with 2 attacks, so ideally would try to kill them without taking any more damage. So what can we do here? We can't hide, so we'll just do this. Then we can either use a shield and take no damage next turn, but doesn't really advance our game plan. If we do this and that, we have a small chance of killing it, and then we guarantee that we can kill it next turn, but we do take 12 damage from that, so I think we'll just play it safe, get our shield and try to kill it next turn. Alright, so let's Cover Strike to get hidden, get some mana and kill it. There we go. So our health is getting a bit lower, but we'll gain a new item, which is pretty good. And more I'm starting to feel like Enrage is not that great in our deck anymore, because we'll be starting every fight with Mighty, and we have the Magic Cannon as well. So we'll have to see what we do about that. Let's go with this one. We rarely empty our hands, so I think it'll be fine. And actually I think here I'm gonna rest, so we get to show off the rest mechanic, and you don't know exactly what happens when you rest, because there's some randomness to it, but a lot of times you get to remove a card from your deck, so I think I would like to remove the Enrage card, because I feel like it's not useful anymore. Alright, so when you rest, you restore 16 health, and it also transitions to one of these little non-combat events. Although that one is quite simple, so I did gain my health here, and now do I want to upgrade or remove a card? I'll go with remove, and remove Enrage. Alright, so here, let's go for this one, and then we'll have a little event here, and then we can choose whichever path we want to reach the boss. Alright, so this is a new one. It's the Fire Elemental. We'll see what it does. I think for now we can just do a simple like backstab and gain hit again. Get some mana and backstab again. So that's pretty good. As you can see, one of our items gave us 3 turns of Mighty every combat, so ideally it would stay on for the whole combat since we try to finish things off quite quickly. And do some damage and gain some shield. Perfect. So it just gave itself 5 powerful, so I'm assuming it's preparing up for a big attack. Here we can see that there's a little bug in the game. This one forgot to transform in between fights, so that's not perfect, I guess. I'll take note of that and I'll try to fix it tonight. Let's do this, so then we have no mana, we can use focus. And we can't hide, so let's just go ahead and discard this, cast this, and stab this guy. I think we can kill it next turn, and for the next time we'll have the magic cannon correctly in the correct form. We still can't hide, so if we do see some cards that allow us to hide, I think it will be worth it. So this is 12 damage, this is 6 damage, so we don't need to do anything. We can just kill this guy. Alright, so this actually is an active trinket, so I'll get into that in the next fight, but I think that they're a pretty cool idea. Yeah, that's it. I'll explain better next time. Okay, so let's try. This one attacks 5 times, so it combos quite well with the weapon we didn't get from I assume another bug. Just have to get that fixed. In that case, I'll just get the Flaming Strike, I think. Is it still called Snail Shell? No, I did rename it. Yeah. Let's go for this event. A large number of tiny shock wisps are rotating around a large mushroom tree. You can see a raised stone slab at the base of the tree. There doesn't seem to be much, but it's hard to see through the moving lights. You'd have to step into the swarm to know more. Well, of course we're gonna step into the swarm. So, as you approach the slab, a group of wisps fly too close to you. I guess. You approach the stone slab. All the small wisps are flying near you. The air is charged with static electricity. You can see an unrecognizable glowing rune on the stone slab. Should we hold our weapon over the rune, hold your energy artifact, or step on the slab ourselves? I think we'll just stand on it. Many wisps surround you and even bump into you. Their shock doesn't hurt, and something in you is slightly changed. So we can either increase our maximum mana or remove a card. Is there any card? Well, we did just remove the... Uh-oh. It seems like we've hit a small bug here and the screen is locked. I think we might have to restart the run. Well, that's fine. It was a good run, but we'll just restart it. I think the deck was pretty strong, so let's try to play silent and make something that's quite strong for him too. I do like the... I'll try to go for a very mana heavy, reload heavy game this time. So you want card draw, you want a lot of mana. Let's go for one more mana card. This time we can maybe get some shield cards like here and here. And then what's good about this is that you don't actually need that much attacking power, because you have your cannon every turn, and if you play your cards well, that's all you need. Alright, what else do we want? Let's get divination is pretty standard, but it's some good card draw. And can get maybe crossbow strike is pretty good, I think. It gives them vulnerable, so it makes your cannon blasts even more effective when you do use them. So we have 2 shield cards that are pretty good, 5 mana cards, that's enough, some card draw, and then some cannon stuff. All the mods will only change 1 cannon blast at a time. So if you have a bunch of cannon blasts, you can use a few mods. So automatic mod turns your cannon into kind of a machine gun. It's pretty strong. Let's get it. And this for mana. Do we want anything that's a bit fancy? Let's go with pillage. It just puts a bunch of treasures in your deck. It's pretty fun. And then this and this. So this just draws 1 card, but if you time it right, you can draw exactly the card you need, so it's often pretty good. Same as last time with this one. This is always good. Mimicry can be really strong in a silent deck because you can copy your cannon blasts, and then, yeah, since we're going for a bunch of cannon blasts, I think that's the perfect card for us. I found Power Surge to be pretty good because the cannon does usually 2 damage. Well, 2 effects, so the power is good. Let's go with some mana cards here and here. And actually, I want to get this one, so we have some AoE, and then maybe put like a fireball in there just to help clear big fights. And this one can be really strong because it will reduce the cannon blast by 2, so if we have 2 or 3 cannon blasts, it's insane the mana we're gonna save with it. This one turns into defensive energy, which is, let's try it also to have some shield if we want. Or at least the option to have some shield. And I think this one will be good because our fights might be a bit slower, so we'll get to increase the power of that card a few times. And then this one, it's a mana card. It doesn't give you mana right away, but over time it gives you 4 mana, so I think having 1 is pretty good. Alright, let's start. So what do we have here? It doesn't seem like we have a huge path with a bunch of elites this time. What's the best we can do? It's like 2. Let's go this way and we'll see a few events. And then we can fight the boss. Yeah, right. We'll need this boss summons a few enemies with him, so you do need some AoE, otherwise you get overwhelmed a bit. Let's start with this one. Get some berries. So we don't have mana right now, but we do have divination, so I think I will reload. Divination, yes. Discard the crossbow. This reduces the cost of both of them. We do have some shield, and then I'll cast this last. Well, that's the downside of having too many discard cards. Now I can probably only cast 1 of those 2, so while they're very strong, if you have too many of them, it can become somewhat of a disadvantage. So what do I want to do? I'll probably... let's just blast this guy. We'll take some damage right away. Hopefully it won't be like our first run. So we do have a bit of mana, so I think we can afford to do this, this. They're not attacking next turn, so we don't need to use that. We can just kill this guy. Just both of our cannons. Then with some luck, we can kill him this turn. So we don't need to reload or anything. I think we can just use the crossbow and kill him. Alright. I really like this card. It gives you a ton of mana over the course of a fight, so I'll just pick that one. Although I would like to get a fireball maybe later. We'll see. Alright. Let's kill some plants, do some gardening. So here I don't have enough mana, so using reload really won't be a good idea. Not even sure I can cast this cannon blast. I think I'll just... This one restores a bit of health, so it's pretty good. I'll do that. And I'll just keep mana for next turn. This, so we have more mana this turn. Fill our mana with this. Draw some cards, see what's up. Let's not use this. Then we can make them vulnerable, so now our cannon blast is going to be a bit stronger. Normally deals 6 like to this guy, but to this one it will be 8 of each. So it makes quite a difference. So as you can see, we're kind of drowning in mana right now, so that's a good place to be. Let's just finish this guy up. Some more mana. Alright, even though they triggered the arcane explosion, we had enough shield that it didn't really affect us. We're still full of mana, so let's just go. I'm not sure about the math on this, but we'll just try to cast all the cannon blasts in the world. And that was pretty good. Yes, but it would have discarded one of my blasts, and I did not want to discard my blasts. Let's do this. Well, actually, we don't need to do anything. Let's just kill this guy. And all right. That's a tough call. Do we want to regrowth or fireball? Or corrupted blast and reduce buffs? Let's just go with regrowth. It's a bit more of a combo card. We'll see if we can get some crazy turns. Let's go with this one. Get some more energy. Good. Do I want to reload? It's attacking for 12. I think I'll just play it safe with the shield. Discard reload and then deal some damage. Alright, so is there anything we want to regrowth this turn? The top card of our discard is Crossbow Strike, which we already have one, so we don't need. One of the reasons this card is so good is that it can always default as just a mana card, so actually let's cast this and see what happens. Oh, we lost our mana, but then we can go get it and get some more mana. we won't reload, but we can do another combo of crossbow strike and arcane blast. Right, it's still only buffing itself next turn, so we still have time. Let's try and see what we get. Yeah, we got way too much mana. Okay, this later. Charge, charge. Pass. Alright. So now that's a lot of damage. Can we actually kill him this turn? So he's gonna take I think we can kill him. Oh, but we don't have that much mana. I could do the math for it and be smart, but I'll just cast cards and see how we can. No, I don't think we can afford to. I don't think I will die. Yeah, just cast some shields and try to survive. Right, took 17 damage. It's not that bad. It's already attacking us for a lot now. We do have more mana this time. I don't think we want 2 of those. I'll just discard regrowth. Ouch. Yeah, so this was bad, but I think we're still fine overall for the round. This and this. Alright, we took a lot of damage, but we got a lot of energy. Gonna get a new item. Every time we deal 10 plus damage, we'll heal, so that's good. And then we get to choose a card. Let's go with Endure. That would have been good last fight, with all the damage the guy did. Actually, I don't think we fought these guys yet. So let's go for it. So these are usually, they're kind of big and tough, and they can defend the guys behind them. So those are usually weaker, but they deal a lot of damage. So we'll see what we can do here. Which is what's good about the cannon blast is that you can target anything. So we don't really care that the weak guy is in the back. Alright, let's do this. So I don't think we'll have enough to reload this turn, but we can do some shield and some cannon blast on this guy. So this one attacks 4 times and then gains a power buff after that. So then their next attack deals 4 more damage every time, so they get quite dangerous pretty fast. So we'll be trying to kill them as soon as we can. So let's gain some mana, deal some damage. I think this will kill it. So overall not too bad, and then this guy can take. He's a bit slower, but we're not threatened by the other guy anymore, so it's fine. Oh, actually this guy applies the Frost status, which we haven't seen yet. So what does Frost do? You fill a bar, and then once it's filled, you skip your next turn. So ideally you never want to get frozen, because that's obviously really bad to lose a full turn. Right, what's here? Draw some cards. We don't need 2 reloads, I think, but I think we can afford to use 1. Let's gain some mana. We don't need shield. Let's get some more mana, regrowth for even more mana. This guy, use 2 cannons. Pretty good. He's almost dead. Well, he was almost dead until he used Fortress, which reduces all of the damage taken and dealt by half. So when you use it as a player, it's a bit of a sacrifice, but for enemies it can be a bit annoying. Let's charge, regrow, charge. got it. Alright. Which one do I want? So this one gives Fortress and 10 shield, so you just become unkillable with this. It's pretty good. This one deals quite a bit of damage, so it could be good as well. And this one, let's go with this one. It's just, oh, actually the final boss has Reflect, so if we use this we'll take 10 damage. So let's just go with the potion. It's kind of the safe pick and it's pretty fun to use. Let's see what this adventure has in store for us. Oh, so there is a big open field in your path. There are magic books almost everywhere on the ground. It looks bad, but you remember an entry about this in the standard issue of Into the Breach, the Aether's Survival Guide. So it's the same as last time, but this time let's mix it up a bit. So let's try not to touch the plant, but just dash through. And obviously it didn't work, so we'll still get to fight all of these plants. Alright. I've been working on the game since I started roughly around Christmas last year. So 9 months maybe. We're 2 programmers on the game. But we both work roughly part-time on it because we also have other stuff at the same time. But it's been doing fairly well, and now that we've done the demo, it means that like most of the core architecture of the game is done. So from here on out it's just adding more and more content. So it should go pretty fast from now to the finish line. Hopefully. We'll see, I guess. Let's draw some cards. Let's go reload. So we have 5 mana. If I cast this, that's basically free since it reduces 2 mana here. So let's do that. Get rid of one guy. Oh, yeah, we got ambushed, so they might crit us, which is not ideal. So here's our brand new potion. It's just so strong. And then this, so now we're tough forever. This is good. Yeah, having these 2 discard cards is starting to bite us a little bit. What do I want to do? I think I won't Cannon Blast this turn. Let's just gain some defense and some mana. So we'll get ready for next turn. Alright. So what's the last... Oh, we just shuffled, so regrowth doesn't do anything. Is there anything that we want to use twice? We don't have any card draw. We can't regrowth this one. They're gonna arcane us next turn, so we do need some shield. I think 12 is enough, so... Let's just get some mana. So we didn't get any AoE yet, which would have been great for this fight. Hopefully we can get some more at some point. Ooh, this is good. So we have a ton of mana. Get 2 Cannon Blasts. Let's draw some cards. See you. Actually, that might have been a bit too fast. We might want to see it, actually. Let's get vulnerable to this guy. Kill it. Alright, so I think after this fight we're gonna rest a bit because we did take a bit of damage. It'll give us some of our health back. Alright, reload. Can we do it? Can we do the triple cannon blast in one turn? Let's draw some cards. I don't think we can. So let's discard this. Oh, so close. 1 mana. Alright, that's good. They won't trigger the arcane this turn. So hopefully we can kill them before they do. What's the last card here? It's Crossbow Strike, which we can use to kill this one, so I think I'll use that. And didn't get any shield. So we'll take even more damage now. And these plants, man, they're really showing us 2 runs in a row. Let's endure. Get some shield because we're gonna spill this again. Boom. We only took 5 damage, so that's not that bad. And some mana. We can kill it. So, heavy helmet. We deal less critical damage. We don't really care. Base shield, so we start with 2 more shield and our limit is now 12 instead of 10, so that's great. And we take 1 less damage. This is amazing, so we'll be very glad for it. And then let's go for this. Having some evasion is always good. And this guy now. Okay, so let's start accuracy. Yeah, this guy's gonna deal us 0 damage because of the heavy helmet we just got. So we'll get a very sweet ting sound that's very satisfying. So I'm not even sure which one I want to kill first, but let's go for this one. Alright, I think we can afford to reload. So charging focus, don't need the second reload. And actually one can, well, let's use this on this guy, one blast on this guy, I'll kill him, then blast on this one, and some shield. Perfect. Potion, mana. I do want to draw some cards, I think. Maybe we can get a reload. Also Schluck. Charging focus. Let's do it again. Cannons to 3. And so I think our deck is coming along pretty nicely. We have a good mana, good shield, some card draw. I think that's what's missing right now. It's a little bit more card draw. So I don't think we have enough mana in this hand to quite reload. Let's just do this at first. Perfect. This. Charge the cannon. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but we might be. Oh, with evade maybe not, but we should be able to kill it pretty soon. Let's get some more future mana. Reload. Oh, that might have been. It'll be fine. Use this. Siphon card. Yeah, so we won't take damage this turn and we can kill it next turn, so ended up pretty good. Do we need to do anything? Yes, and alright, another elite down. Gave us a ton of energy. Ooh, Fireball or Mimicry, but Mimicry is just so much fun to play with. So let's do that. Well, Now let's rest a bit. Gain some health. Ooh, I think I like this. Having more mana is well, actually upgrading also is pretty good. But let's go with more mana. Having more mana, you start the fight with more mana, you can... We're always capped at 8 mana, so I think it'll be pretty good. Do I want to finish with that? I think I'll go this direction. So let's go with these guys. So pretty varied assortment of enemies. I'm just gonna copy the cannon. So it's a bit like a better reload in this case, I guess. So that we'll keep the plant for last because of its spores that buff the other creatures when they die. So I'll kill the mushroom first. Pretty good start. We even had some evade for the first attack. Alright, reload. Let's discard this. Actually, I'll discard this one. And draw it back. Kill this guy. Then get some shit. Alright. Potion. Not much to do here. Well, actually I won't attack that one because when it has Fortress it's just cards. Well, every character has some specific lore that will be explored more after the, like when we dig deeper into the game, outside of the demo. For characters, as for the lore of the game itself, basically the breach is a magical realm, kind of, that you access through a portal, and there's the real reason why they go is for, I guess, greed, or some have some personal quests, but basically while you explore the breach you can amass resources easily. So adventuring guilds did create around the portal over time, so there's like kind of a small city of a bunch of adventuring guilds that just send adventurers in the breach to kind of pillage it. So it's not the most ethical of profession, but it pays and you get some sweet loot out of the deal. Not sure that there's anything I want to mimic in this hand. I don't need shield. Yeah, not the best hand ever, but we get to kill these guys. It's okay. Just do this. Do something bigger next turn. Oh, yeah, we have to kill it faster before it freezes us for a full turn. Alright. Top card. Oh, reload. Perfect. So let's draw a reload. Use it. And I'll just draw, see what I get. I don't think I need another reload. Turn, sharpen, and 3 cannons. Oh, So we did get frozen. So it just means that we skipped this turn. It's not the worst thing in the world since we did manage to kill all the others beforehand. So let's reload, charge. I think we can discard this one. Stand. And now we can probably kill it next turn. So since it has this tough here, this only deals 4 damage, so it's not quite enough to kill it, but now that I got a crossbow strike, we should be fine. And there we go. So strike damage +1 and some evade chance, that's good, although we don't have any strike, so I guess it's mostly for the evade. So since we do have this kind of mana heavy deck, let's go with the increasing mana, keep the theme. We do need some card draw if we can find some though. Let's go find some mushrooms. So I'll try to just kill this guy first before he can get some, before the plant can get the death spore buff up. So we'll just empty our... Alright. Ooh, this is gonna be spicy. Let's reload. This. Copy one of the cannons. Charge. Twice. And then kill this guy. There's 2 cannons. Pretty good turn. So, let's draw some cards. Right. So this gives 2 mana this time, but next time we use it, it'll give 3. So if we do get into a longer fight, it'll be very good. Oh, we didn't manage to cast that. That's fine. Oh, that's right. I can regrowth it. Good call. Let's mimic the cannon. Let's regrowth the mimic. I think we can do all of that. All right. So this gives 3 mana now. We can regrowth. Reload, sorry. And can we kill it this turn? Let's discard this reload. This. Alright, let's go with another regrowth. It just works really well with this kind of combo-y deck. So, with a bit of luck, you spot a small hidden cache, I think, of supplies near your path. Loot the cache. Someone stashed a lot of loot here. Maybe they couldn't carry everything. So we got a ton of energy, and we got an active... Oh, I didn't get to talk about those last time. Let's see now, I guess. Let's go for this. So active trinkets, they show up here, and then you can use them once per fight as a kind of just as a normal card. So right now we have enough mana, but I'll just show right now. So mimic this, regrowth and what's that? So this one is staying there, it seems. We'll just leave it be, see what happens. Let's focus on these guys first. Cleared itself. Ting ting ting. Alright, we have a ton of mana, so let's reload, charge this. Some shield. Finish this one off. Last that. Good, so we didn't find any AoE, but we deal so much damage that it doesn't matter all that much. Let's reload. Actually, let's use it, so you just drag it like this, and then you get to use it. I don't want to siphon too much. I think we need this regrowth. Let's just kill that one. And then we can cast it. Alright, going well. I think we'll be fine for the final boss. Right, we just got the camera. Get some cards. And cast. Boom. We have 2 regrowths, so I think this one would be pretty fun to play with. And let's rest before the final boss because we don't have anything else. And I think we'll just increase some more. We like mana in this run, so let's keep with that theme. So, this symbol we haven't seen yet, but it means summon. So this guy likes to summon allies. He's a bit of a... can be a bit annoying, but I think with our deck we'll be more than fine. Like just this turn we should be able to cast 3 of those cannon blasts, I think. Yeah. Pretty good start. I think I'll just ignore these guys and focus on the boss and try to kill him as fast as possible. Let's draw, see what we get. Pretty good. Yeah, this should be easy. We already triggered Arcane a bunch of time. Next time we'll deal a ton of damage. And even though he's buffing everybody, I think we'll be fine. So let's use this, regrowth it, so it's already stronger. Reload. Mana, mana, mana. Boss is dead, so we just need to deal with the little goons now. Pretty good run overall, I think. Pretty sure we'll manage to beat these guys now. Reload. Charge. 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 Can even use this to get some shield. Let's reload this. Should give it a ton of mana now. Actually. Do I want to? Oh, just get this, regrowth it, have literally infinite mana. Like this guy. So if we had a bit more card draw, we could have gone with really crazy turns, but obviously this was still good enough for this round. So we did it. Congratulations, you have completed the demo. Alright, so streaming is is quite something. I think I'll take a little break. And I need to set up the event on Steam to make sure that everything goes well. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll be putting a little loop, I think, and I'll be back in a bit after I eat.